What's up, guys? It's Johnny Candido of Candido Training HQ. Today's quick tip video is on what, in my opinion, what the title already probably says, is what is the biggest separator between people who continue to make progress, even as an advanced lifter and beyond, and just keep pushing, versus those who hit a wall and plateau or regress, or even have a negative relationship with powerlifting. And in my opinion, it's the number one factor. It is simply planning for what you can do by planning for your busiest weeks first, working around that, and then allowing yourself to actually have excess recovery on the other weeks, as opposed to planning for your average. So what I mean by this is, let's say you know on week 3 of a 5-week block that you're going to be busy and you're going to only be able to train, let's say even 3 days a week. At that point, then, you should train 3 days a week, the entire block, in my opinion, because that allows you to absolutely dominate those 3 days. You know, maybe you get additional recovery and you're more recovered than kind of you have to be, but then by those worst weeks, then you're just adequately recovered. And then once those ease off, then the whole next 5-week phase, then you can go to something more aggressive if you've proven to yourself that you can establish that baseline and attack it with confidence. And I say this because I see a lot of people do the opposite. A lot of people say, okay, well, I could train 5 days a week for the first 2 weeks, or unlimited. I could train 7 days a week if I really had to. But then, yeah, I'm going to be busy, week 3, and then kind of have to plan around that. Well, the problem is that if then you do train 5 days a week, and then you start adjusting things, maybe even skipping workouts, then what you're really lacking is consistency. And that's more important than anything else. Having consistent training is more important than training frequency. It's more important than training volume or training intensity. Because if you don't have the same stimulus, you can't assess what just happened and what caused it. So that is the absolute worst position you want to be in. And to be honest, one of the reasons why I'm making this video is because I've been in this position. I've been planning to train around 5 to 6 times every 8 days, do a modified week. And realistically, I've been only training probably 4 times every 8 days. And I have to just stop doing this. I have to reset this and plan for it then, because then you can hit everything adequately. And like I said, you can dominate it to where there's no fluctuations across weeks. And the moment you can't consistently plan, then you also lose that sense of duty of completing what you plan to complete. And ultimately, it's shameful, it's disgusting, it's to be rejected, not to be selected. You should be absolutely kicked out of the gym for ever skipping a workout. You should be ashamed of yourself. So that's overall tip. It's a pretty simple tip, but it's something that absolutely comes up a lot. On the Forever program, for example, some people go like, well, if I'm training 4 days a week, can I then switch to 3 times a week on this week and then come back to it? And it's like, yeah, you can do that, but what's far better is to just stick to one, do it for a whole training cycle, train even down to 3 days a week if you have to. And then later on, you can always increase frequency as you go along later. And now you'll actually have better data, because now you'll see the effects of training with lower frequency and lower volume. And maybe it's better than you expect. And then go back up to higher. And then have a really good A to B test. The last thing you want to do is have a mixture throughout within a cycle. And I know most likely some of you are in this position right now as you're watching this video, knowing that you got to change. You can do better, man. You can. So that's it, guys. Make sure to like the video, support the channel, subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.